Lally-ho, everyone! Hello everyone, I am the Canadian Gaming Penguin. With patch 5.4, which was released in December 2020, a new mode was introduced called Explorer Mode. So today, I'm going to be exploring in Explorer Mode. Explorer Mode is the ability to freely explore dungeons that we have previously completed. Currently, the only dungeons that can be explored are the Shadowbringers dungeons, and there will be more dungeons added in the future. I'm really looking forward to being able to explore in some of the Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood dungeons, and I've only explored a few of them in Shadowbringers so far. Anyways, in Explorer Mode, enemies will not appear and obstacles will be cleared, meaning there will be nothing in the dungeon that will prevent you from exploring. While in Explorer Mode, we are able to use our mounts, minions, and fashion accessories while within the dungeons. Additionally, we have up to 3 other players in the same dungeon with us. A side note, you will not be able to fly with your mounts in the dungeon. While we are in the dungeons, we will also have access to the limit break buttons for each of the 3 levels. So level 1 limit break, level 2, level 3. In order to actually execute them, we need a combat target. And with this, we have the dummy that can be placed anywhere, so that we can actually use the limit break or any combat-based skill that requires a target. Mentioning the limit breaks, if you are in a dungeon with multiple players, all of you will have access to the limit break buttons, and you can all use them at the same time. So, have some fun with that. There are also shortcuts available in the dungeons that allow players to quickly access each of the different areas in their respective dungeons. And one final thing, you can change classes and jobs while you're in the dungeons, but only Disciple of War and Disciple of Magic classes. Unfortunately, we cannot change to a Disciple of Hand or Land job. It would be kind of fun to explore as a miner in the Copperbell Mines if and when the Copperbell Mines are available to actually explore. But anyways, since I'm going to be showing a dungeon and it's obviously going to be a Shadowbringers dungeon, I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. Thus, I will not have the name of the dungeon visible, I will not say the name of the dungeon, nor will I have any of the information of the dungeon visible. The only thing that you'll be shown is the room that it'll be in that demonstrates the limit break and the dummy and placement, etc., and the entrance to the dungeon that shows where and how the first initial shortcut works. The shortcut room names will be blurred out when I show the shortcut menu. Now that said, let me get right to it. So we begin with the Duty Finder. In the top left corner, we have Open Duty Finder settings, and you can see currently I have the symbol that shows that I have the Join Party in progress. If we go to this cog menu, it's Duty Finder settings. So we have the Join Party in progress, and that's why there's that symbol there, which is also the symbol right here. Anyways, we also have the new features of the undersized party, level sync, etc, etc. Explorer mode down here at the bottom, and as it says, revisit a dungeon in its complete state. Explorer mode allows access to the following: Explorer mode exclusive actions, minions, mounts, and fashion accessories, changing jobs excluding Disciple of Land and Disciple of Hand classes. This is available only for select duties completed by the player. Only the party leader settings are applicable, and in enabling Explorer mode will disable all other Duty Finder participation requirement settings. So, we select this and that can just be removed if I want to. That is irrelevant. We hit confirm and now we can see Explorer mode. And as you can see, these are now no longer accessible. They'll have a lock on it. So if we went over to the Realm Reborn, we can see all of these are also cleared. Now as we move over to the Shadowbringers areas, and yes, I will have all these dungeon names blurred out, so if you have not gotten to this point, you will not see any of the dungeon names. We have the different dungeons here, and you can see they are all clickable, although you can't see the names of them. You cannot also see the requirements. I don't want to spoil when those are available. Anyways, we are going to be going into the same dungeon that was actually used as demonstration by Yoshi P in the Letter of the Producer Live, Part 60 and Part 61. I should have a card up on the screen if you want to check those out. I do have timestamps to take you directly to that point. I don't think I actually go into details about the Part 60 and Part 60 and 61, which dungeons he uses. I do have some screenshots in Part 61, I believe, that kind of show the same dungeon, so yeah. Anyway, so we are going to go into this particular duty. So here we are in this dungeon. Of course, we have the usual duty commencement, etc. And the party leader has enabled the Explorer mode, as I stumble over my words. So this is the initial room here, and as demonstrated by Yoshi P in the Letter of the Producer Live, we can have our mount summoned. And of course it has to be the snowman. And I'm going to be sneaky and totally have this turned off so I can show off this because it looks super creepy when you're exploring around like that. Anyways, yes, so we have that. And you can see we also have this special icon here. This is the limit break for level 1, level 2, level 3, and the summon strike dummy. So wherever you're standing is where the striking dummy is going to be placed. And your normal limit break button is not available to be used because of course we don't have a target. Now if I place this and target this, it's still not available because we don't actually have a limit gauge in this dungeon. We do have the limit break buttons here. And if you want to remove the striking dummy, so say you wanted to change jobs, well, for example, if I start attacking that and I want to change to my paladin, I can't because I'm in combat, rather than having to run away and wait for it to desync, or not desync, to be away and out of combat. Just click that button again, it'll remove the dummy, you're out of combat, now you can change to your... Now you can change to your different job. Of course it had to be finicky, sometimes it takes a little bit to do that, but anyway, going back to my ninja here, you can also see the shortcuts, and again, the names of the different areas will be blurred out, so you'll not be able to see them. But we have the different here areas. I won't blur out this one because it's just showing you the starting point. And then there is the 3 different areas as usual, because most dungeons usually have 3 different areas, at least for each of the different bosses that you face along the way. But anyway, so the starting point, we are going to go to this last area because it's nice, big, and spacious. And it's also very pretty. But we are going to place the striking dummy right in the center here. Well, why? Because I have to show off my favorite limit break ever. So let's see if I can try this. I also want to try the G pose with this. I haven't actually tested this to see if it is possible to do that. So we have my ninja doing this, the limit 3 break, and if you consider that a spoiler, my bad. So I'm gonna change my UI back on, and I want to see if we're able to... Yeah, so they're able to do the... in the G pose. So if you wanted to show this without having me kill the camera itself, let's face this way, say we're attacking the... that there. So yeah, that's kind of cool to turn off the UI there. So yeah, so if you want to play around with the G pose as well, you can do that. And obviously this is going to loop because it's the last action that I did. And if you ever find that you're trying to get out of the action, just have your character sit and then go back into the G pose, and then it'll just be standing there. That's something I found when I've been trying to do thumbnails for this. But anyway, of course I have to show this. And now I'm going to exit out of... What did I do? There we go. If I exit out of the G pose and I remove the striking dummy and then enter G pose again, I should still... There you go. You can have your thing. So guess what? This is of course going to be probably my thumbnail. But let's move the camera down here so that we actually aim lower, because I don't want to throw myself at the camera. Yes, I'm having a little bit of fun of that. There, that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, so explore around in the G pose as well. And as I said, if you're in a party with other if you're in the dungeon with other players, then you can of course do that as well. We also have the fashion accessories, and where's my magical button? I hit that icon, I think. Yes, there it is. Fashion accessories. So we also got the new fashion accessories, and of course I have to show it off too. We have the wings here that are new, and obviously you can see that we have these, and of course they don't do much until you start jumping and they actually fly around and stuff like that, which is really cool as well. But so if you want to see some of the other limit breaks, I'm going to demonstrate at least one more here. What are we going to go with? We're going to go with the Dragoon one. We're going to remove the wings though, because that just looks silly. You know, then again, I'm going to see if this works, because if I can use the wings while I'm doing the limit break, that's pretty cool. Aw, yeah, you can't. That was wishful thinking. Let's try that again. There we go. Yeah, so that's the Dragoon's Limit Break 3, and of course the 1 and 2 are going to be similar to the other ones. Ooh, that looks really cool. So yeah, and of course again, removing that, entering G-pose, and we'll have the Dragoon aiming at the camera, which is up here, and of course it's going to come right at me as well. But yeah, if you've never seen... Okay, that's really cool. If you've never seen the G-poses before, this is your time to explore those, and, well, likelihood of you seeing the G-pose... Likelihood of you seeing the limit breaks at this point when you've reached Shadowbringers, you probably will have seen them before. I believe Explorer mode is available as soon as you unlock the first dungeon, so obviously you'll be able to explore during that dungeon. I'm not entirely sure why you'd want to, but if you did, you could probably do that then. I haven't actually seen whatever when it is unlocked. I assume it's unlocked initially, like for everyone, because there are going to be dungeons available later on. So eventually, if all of the dungeons in all of the game are available in Explorer mode, I expect that it'll be available as soon as you're done your first dungeon, which is Sistasha back in A Realm Reborn. Anyways, so that said, so that is the mount I have already shown, so I'll show that again because why not? Hello. Oh, yes, and if you're a tank and you haven't seen your limit break before, now you can. If you're a healer and you haven't seen your limit break before, now you can. Most of the time you'll only see DPS limit breaks, and most of the time it'll only be the limit break level 1 or limit break level 2, unless you are doing a trial raid or extreme that has the level 3. But anyway, yeah, so that's the mount again. There's the shortcut, placing a dummy, the limit breaks. You can also change your classes and jobs, as I demonstrated as well. I demonstrated the fashion accessories, and obviously I didn't show all the limit breaks. If there is interest in seeing the different ones, or the different levels for that matter. Now, that said, I might as well just show the level 1 limit break. So for the melee, I have to be close for this, but yeah, this is your standard level 1 melee limit break, which is the same for all of the melee classes. This one as well. You only get a little different, for example, let's see, you have your bard here, after I move this. We'll change to... Actually, we'll go with my machinist here. We have this placement, and you'll see that the level 1 is just this line as well, because it is a ranged DPS. And the level 2 as well. As I sound so excited. I mean, that's where you start getting a little different, and then you have your level 3, which I haven't actually seen, so there's that. We have this giant thing. Big explosion, big explosion, etc. So yeah, so there's all that stuff as well. Of course, it takes a little few seconds to actually be able to change your job, so there we go. So yeah, and obviously that's pretty much it for the Explorer mode. You can obviously explore around in the dungeons itself, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get up spoilers, and I don't consider showing this room in Explorer because you have absolutely no idea anything behind what this dungeon is or why it's here, and quite frankly, I don't remember the story about it either. I just remember doing this, and yeah, so anyways, so that is obviously, that is where I'm going to leave this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are excited as I am to actually be able to explore around in these dungeons. I know that the devs take a lot of time to design them, and sometimes when you're in a dungeon, you just basically rush right through it because you're with players that have done this so many times that they don't really care about the appearance of it because they've seen it so many times. This gives you the option to now explore and enjoy and actually marvel at some of these different aesthetics that have been made in the dungeons that you couldn't otherwise explore. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in some of them as well. So that's something I'm really excited about, especially seeing some of the Heavensward, Stormblood, and A Realm Reborn ones not in that order. I'm also super excited that you can actually use these fashion accessories, your mounts, etc. so that if you wanted to explore through and just like listen to the music while being in the environment of the dungeon, obviously without the fights, then you're able to do that. There's also the option of having other players with you up to a maximum of 4 because of course the dungeons are a limited party of 4. Which is really cool, so you can have some fun ideas with using like limit breaks or poses or pictures, etc. Like right here, I love how this little picture right now looks. Like I have this really beautiful background and a really cool floor with a Lalafell with a minion who looks very bored because it's not doing anything. I also forgot to say that obviously I have my minion displayed as well. Anyways, that is where I'm going to leave this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did enjoy that, please hit the like button. And if you'd also like to see more content like this, please also consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to your preferred setting. Hopefully it isn't to nothing. Anyways, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.